Our guest today is Yemi Roberts. Yemi is an engineer. Yemi is a serial entrepreneur. Yemi has been involved in various startups. Yemi is a hard worker. Currently, Yemi runs, owns, and manages a garage service company known as Performance Garage Doors. Performance Garage Doors does garage services all over the DMV. Now, one thing about Yemi is a community leader. Yemi is a father. Yemi is a husband and has 5 wonderful kids. Yemi, welcome to Leap Forward.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you, Yemi. How you doing today, Yemi?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Well, great. Yemi, how did all this start? Because your case is a total success story. Because I actually know you personally, right? So, yeah. How did it all start?
So, for me, I'll take it back to my early childhood. And I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. My mom is an entrepreneur. And my dad, of blessed memory, although he was a petroleum engineer, but I learned something about transitioning from paid employment to having a business or an enterprise from him, because he was 2 weeks onshore, 2 weeks offshore.
Okay.
So when he is home for the 2 weeks, he's either running a fish pond, he's either running one business or the other, just to keep himself busy till he goes back to the shore, offshore rather. So and also my mom, you know, she trades, and she also moving from several factories, getting products, then selling on the Lagos Island market.
Okay.
So I was actually raised in that setting.
So this is like you're born with it.
Yeah, it's more like a part of me.
Oh, okay.
More like a part of me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I, you know, had my early childhood, you know, bargaining in the market, you know, striking conversations with potential buyers, convincing them to buy, you know, encouraging them to buy. And I realized that from my own setting, it has always been profit over wages.
Wow.
Profit over wages. Because there are days when you make sales and it seems like God is just smiling at you. And there are some days also that, you know, you just have to thank God. So when you are used to the ups and downs of business, you seem to have a tough skin towards business, and you approach it as such.
So Yemi, there's something that really comes strong to my heart.
Yeah.
Now, people actually procrastinate about actually starting up something. So people have strong dreams, as in there are wonderful ideas in their head that, in short, they might have even mapped it out totally in their head, but something always holds them back. They're always procrastinating. How do you think they can actually break that shell?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So for me, I believe your responsibilities should propel you. Because if you have challenges, or so to speak, responsibilities, and you are not the type that is given to just seeking handouts.
Handouts.
Yeah, you will get down to business and do whatever it takes to, you know, be successful.
Seeking handouts.
Yeah, if you're not given to seeking handouts. Because a lot of people, they they are okay with sliding through life. You know, if you feel this is what I want, now you sit down and say, how do I get what I want? So you can actually say, okay, I want X. How do I get to X? But if you are the type that maybe you come from a rich family,
like me and you, right?
I mean, if you are laid back, you tend to want to procrastinate. But when you don't even know where your next meal is coming from, you better get to ground and get rolling.
Wow, that's like I really eating the nail on the head. Now, Yemi, what's major advice? Because I was with a couple of people a couple of weeks ago, and one thing they were always saying is that it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. What major advice will you give to someone that is really heads on and he really wants to actually do this?
Okay, so for me, I would say, first of all, you want to identify a need. Identify a need. It might be a product. It might be a service.
Great.
Now, once you are able to identify that need or that product, there are several people who are fulfilling that need. Find someone who's already doing it, and maybe apply for apprenticeship program. Great. If it's a service, you can apply for apprenticeship program, or just seek the person and tell the person, I can work for free, because you actually want to learn that skill.
Okay.
So also another thing is, which is rare, some people are gifted and they are able to create things like inventions. So if you have an invention, you can leverage an invention to make money and ultimately, appropriate it to get revenue. Which also means you're not working for somebody, you're living off maybe a patent of what you designed or what you invented. Okay. That's one side of it. And the other side of it is service or a product. If it's a product, you want to seek, maybe a manufacturer gets help from them, or learn how to, for instance, an example, maybe a bathing soap.
Okay.
There are several skilled acquisition classes where you can learn how to actually make soap, manufacture it. That's a product. Then if you're able to do that, you can say, okay, I'm going into soap making production.
Great.
Which is also, a way to start.
So ideally, what I hear you say is that capital itself should not be a delimiting factor.
No,
should not be something.
Not the first thing.
Okay.
Capital is not the first thing.
Great.
Capital is not the first thing. The first thing is, what do I want to do? What need do I want to fulfill? Because it has to do with exchange of value.
Okay.
When you are talking about entrepreneurship or business, you are in a position to give value,
all right,
in exchange for value, which is the resources, the funds.
Okay.
Right? So you first of all need to identify a need that people have, or be able to solve a problem, which might be the case of an invention. So it's either an invention, a product, or service. So those three things, are valuable. And when you're able to give people that, they have no choice but to pay for it.
Nice. Now, Yemi, how do you, and I know you've actually, when you're starting out, I know you'd have actually been through all of this. How do you handle rejection? And if, like taking it further down the line, how, I know there'll be days where you'll be like, what am I doing? Why am I even here? How do you handle those kind of situations?
So, first of all, I practice gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yes,
Gratitude.
I practice gratitude because I've told several people over time that for me, I started with nothing. And when I say I started with nothing, a lot of people tend to confuse it with, oh, he's trying to say he started business with zero capital. No, that's not what I mean. I started with nothing means I came to the world in my birthday suit.
Great. In your birthday suit. Now that's a good one. I'm hearing that for the first time. Well, you need to explain that.
Yeah, I came to the world naked.
Wow.
I was born without anything. So everything I acquired was a function of maybe my parents provided this, my uncles provided this, my aunt provided this, which also takes us to relationships with people.
Wow.
So it has to be from a place of gratitude.
Nice.
So rejections will come, difficult days will come. You know, it doesn't mean if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean you have a bad week. If you have a bad week, it doesn't mean you have a bad month.
And if you have a bad month, doesn't mean you have a bad day.
Exactly. So the truth is, just practice gratitude.
Gratitude.
Just practice gratitude.
Gratitude. So, for a lot of business people and for professionals, there's something they call performance review.
Yeah.
How do you actually review yourself? Because at some point you need to understand that, okay, let's take for example, in a month you've actually set up some particular goals that I want to achieve A, B, C. How do you review those and to actually see that you're actually on track? How do you, from your own perspective? And
okay, so another good question you asked right there. So performance review. For me, as a person, even before business, monthly, weekly, daily, I ask myself, have I learned anything new? Have I learned anything new?
Continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement. Then also, you wanna, if you are in business, there are several apps that tracks the productivity.
Great.
Now I'll give you an example. There's an app I use for invoicing.
Okay.
I would not want to mention names, but there are several apps out there for invoicing. Now, those apps are able to track your monthly, generate like an Excel spreadsheet of how much you made in a month, how much you made in 6 months, how much you made in a year, and ultimately you can say in 2021 I made X amount, in 2022 I made X amount. So you can put it side by side and monitor your growth in terms of revenue generation.
Now, some of these apps, is it like, are they tied to your how the money comes in? Is it like tied to your bank? Okay, for example, you render a service and you're being paid. How does that correlate with that app actually knowing exactly what actually comes in? So
when you provide service to a customer, you get paid.
Okay.
After you get paid, you issue a receipt.
All right.
Now, your receipts from those apps is digital, so it's recorded.
Oh, okay.
So in a month, you can say you pushed out 30 receipts. Those 30 receipts, you can accumulate the total sum.
Okay.
That's what you made in a month.
Okay.
So you can say in a month I did X amount, and the next month, if the sales wasn't so good, you can say, oh, we did better last month. What you can now say, what happened? You can now question what is the why. What was responsible for the drop in sales? What did we do wrong?
Okay.
And if it's on the contrary, sales went up, you can be like,
what did we do right? Exactly, I like
so
that.
you are able to, evaluate. It's just about constant evaluation. You don't just go into business and rough it out, but you also want to track your growth and also your expenditure also. So that's how I
now that brings me to a pertinent question. Given our environment, there's this form of entitlement culture within our environment. So family, friends, they see that you're doing exceptionally well, and they tend to be like, they should have a piece of the cake. That is part of their entitlement, and not looking at the fact that probably you yourself have not actually met some of your basic needs. So how do you manage that entitlement? And you don't want to be the bad guy. How do you actually manage that entitlement factor?
Yeah, so right there is a very tricky one. Because I'll be very clear and concise. Nobody is self-made. Some of these people that feel entitled, not all, some of them, they actually made some sacrifices for you
to get to where you are.
To get to where you are.
Exactly.
Like say maybe your parents, they paid your way through school. They housed and clothed you. Like maybe some of your family members that were kind to you. So I just believe at some point it's also good to return the favor.
Wow. Okay.
It's good to return the favor. However, when it becomes a case of people trying to milk you, you are able to distinguish or separate a good return versus someone trying to take advantage of you. In that aspect, I would say there's a price for everything.
Okay.
Where you are today, you paid a price to get there.
All right.
Right? So I personally do not like using the word I don't care. But however they feel, or the way they respond to me not yielding
to their demands,
does not affect me.
Okay.
I have grown a thick skin to people's opinions, as long as my conscience is clear. Because some responsibilities are not mine. I look at it from a holistic view.
Okay.
A full functioning adult should be able to do some certain things for themselves.
Exactly.
Now, if you're unable to do that, say maybe you fell on bad times, yes, you can help. But I would not be supporting an able person who just decides not to do anything.
Great.
While I am out there grinding.
Oh my God. Oh, now let's take it home. Now I really want to talk about your company. So I see a lot of you're very hands-on on social media. You put most of your job out there. You do a lot of things on social media. Now, Yemi, and this will help people that are actually trying to start up. What do you think makes Performance Garage does? What do you think makes it unique?
So I believe business in general has a touch of the founder's personality and values.
So you can't take the founder, the owner of the founder of the company away from the company itself.
Yes,
they will be both. They go hand in hand.
There's a DNA connection between the founder of an enterprise or a business, his values, his core values, and the business, the way it performs.
Exactly.
There's a strong relationship between them. Because take for instance, say Jeff Bezos, right? He started his business from his garage, selling books. He had.
Why did you just mention garage? Is it because you're also into garage doors or something?
Yes.
I
I actually, before I even went into the garage door business, I can tell you some multi-billion-dollar companies that started from their garage in their homes. Google is one of them.
Wow.
Yes, Google started from the garage.
I never knew that. Knew that.
So it's a lot of people who have core values. They transfer those core values into work ethics, like integrity, like a customer obsession. So when you have those core values and you set up a business, you in a way impute those core values as a vision and as a mission for your business. So it's inevitably creates your brand. Like if you going back to Amazon, if you purchase something on Amazon and you're not satisfied with it, you want to return it, you call customer care. Immediately they are taking care of you. They want to make sure you're happy. They are processing your refund under 24 hours. That's customer obsession. That started from the founder. So you cannot take away that part of the business from the founder. So what makes business unique has a lot to do with the founder, his core values, and his beliefs.
Okay, so I hope my next question, I hope is not like I'm trying to expose some of your trade secrets here, but so what changes have you done in your business in the past, maybe the past year, 2 years, that you've done that has really enabled the business and actually taking it to the next level? You don't really need to go into the nitty-gritty, maybe just so people can just try and just relate with it.
Yeah, so for me, I'll go with scaling the business.
Okay.
And when you're scaling a business, you have to look beyond yourself and your control.
Okay.
A lot of people who are small business owners, they have issues with letting go of some particular part of the business.
Okay. Okay.
They have issues with maybe somebody handling the hiring process. They have issues with maybe somebody hiring maybe another tech, because as a tech, you have only two hands. Now, say I'm working on a job site. I have my work schedule for the day. I have 10 customers. That's just 10 people I have to attend to throughout the whole day. If I'm smart enough, I can hire another tech who has my core values, right? And get him more jobs and delegate him to take care of that. So ultimately, it has to do with delegating duties to people, because that is what business is. Business is about growth. It's not just about you. It's about the business, generating income so that you as a person, you are able to set the business in full flight mode.
So within your own business, you should be able to replicate yourself.
Exactly.
That's the word. Should have people that you can actually put in place that they can actually do those things that you can do. Division of labor,
Exactly.
When Yemi is not there, that means the
business is still running.
Oh wow, that's great. Now, Yemi, a lot of us have influencers, a lot of us have mentors, because one thing I've come to understand is that no man is an island.
Yes.
And for anyone that has been able to actually succeed at that higher level, they usually identify with specific people. For you, can you just give me talk about some people that have highly influenced you and like that you call mentors?
Okay, so in the industry, I have people I met, and I also don't want to mention names, but I have in the industry, I have people who even have wealth of experience and years, like 20, 30 years in the business.
Okay.
And I relate with them. I look at how their growth came to be.
Okay.
Like I know another garage door company, you know, that has been in existence for like 30 years. And the person who runs it right now happens to be the son of the owner. So it's a business that has been passed down. So it now makes me understand that, first of all, there's no rush. We will
your son might be watching this now and might be feeling like, oh, my dad is actually building a legacy for me, right?
I mean, there's no rush. Because if I see, like the business I was talking to you about, is doing so fine. They have chains of a fleet of cars, they have a warehouse, they have this, they have that, you know. They didn't get there overnight. So I look at them and I'm like, sure, I would like to be at this position in future. But I remind myself of the consciousness that this empire wasn't built overnight. So I may have to retire and eventually watch my dream come to be.
Exactly.
But I respect the fact that, you know, there's somebody who has done it successfully. That means my own business can also be successful. And that is just on the business side.
Okay.
Also, I'm a man of faith. I have spiritual leaders that have impacted wholesomely in my life. And when you balance God with work, I believe you can achieve anything.
Great. Now, there's a saying that take a look at the people I roll with, the people I call friends. They go a very long way in determining or saying the kind of people that the kind of person I am. How do you manage your circle of friends? At what point do you say this is my friend?
So that's another very beautiful question. Friendship has to do with investments. Friendship has to do with investments, and I say that because a lot of people we interchange or we misuse the word friends. Some people are just business associates. Yes.
And it ends there.
And some people, you know, are acquaintances. Like for instance, say you're going for a 6 o'clock walk every evening. And there's another man in your neighborhood who's going for a 6 o'clock walk every evening. And you've been walking for 6 months. The person, you meet them maybe at a T-junction every 6:15. He's never late, you are never late. It doesn't mean the man is your friend.
Exactly.
It's just an acquaintance. But that's why I said friendship has to do with investments. When people make investments in your life and you make investments in their life, you know, the popular saying says, a friend in need is a friend indeed. You know, you want to check their core values. I'm a strong believer of that. Do we align? Do you do things that I feel is upright by my own thinking? You know, so those are key critical things I base my association with.
Wow. So they have to actually meet those particular
Core
values before you can actually say
yes.
Before you can bring them in.
Yes. I have to. There's a vetting process.
A vetting process.
Yes, and it's called time.
So anybody that is coming in has to be a value addition.
Yes, it has to be a value because it has to be a mutual exchange. You know, you have to, invest in them, and they invest in you. It has to be symbiotic.
Okay.
Not a parasitic relationship. So that's how I see it.
Okay, let's take it back to the business part again. Are there avenues or are there opportunities where people can actually get, we all talk about funding and as small businesses, even in our state of Maryland, are there opportunities where people can actually leverage to actually get some of this funding?
Yes, absolutely. There's SBA.
Okay.
There's SBA, small business. I think it's association.
SBA. Yeah.
So
those SBA loans or SBA loans. Yeah.
There's SBA loans. There's also credit unions.
Okay.
Credit unions are even better facilities because they are institutionalized based on maybe trades.
Okay.
So if you are in a trade business and you walk into a credit union, they know that this business is lucrative.
Okay.
They want to be a part of that startup or that growth. So they are ready to assist you.
Okay.
Unlike going to maybe, I don't want to mention banks, you just walking into a bank, they look at you like you are small. They don't really want to, put their eggs in small baskets.
Okay.
But when you have specific institutions who deal with trade businessmen, trade organizations, they are able to, assist with funding, which is also the backbone of any business.
Now, for your business, because you mentioned something that really caught my attention.
Yeah.
You mentioned about apprenticeship roles, and do you in your business do you incorporate that? So
yes, I do.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, there's this summer gig I introduced to my church.
Wow.
For younger boys.
Okay.
I throw it out there to their parents, church members, and I tell them during the summer, if your kid is between 12 and 18, send them over. Let them take a ride with me.
Show them the ropes. See how
Let
it's
them
done.
see. Even my son is just 12 years old. When he's not in school, he's in the work van. Because I like to show him, this is what I'm doing, this is how I speak to customers and clients, and this is what I do, and this is how I get paid for it. So he understands the value of money. Because a lot of people they just be mentioning, especially in our generation, everything is digital.
Okay.
Some of these kids don't even know what money looks like in stacks. A lot of people, some of our age mates, don't even know what money looks like in stacks. They only see the numbers on your phone. You open your bank app, you see the number, you say, oh, I have money. Some people have not seen physical cash. So there's also a side
bundles, stacks, as in the dollar bills itself, as
some
in
people have not
blocks.
seen physical stacks. So it's a way to just show the next generation the value of money, so that when you are talking about money, it's a serious topic. You don't just open your mouth and just mention figures. You associate those figures to a particular service or product.
Exactly. Now, Yemi, The audience out there might feel he's just talking about all the positivities, positive parts. In your line of business, as you've grown in this business, are there areas that you failed at, and how have you been able to manage those failures to actually stand out?
Beautiful. So while I was training, while I was undergoing my apprenticeship program for the garage door trades, because it's a very mechanical system, I made some errors. I had an accident.
Wow.
I almost lost a finger.
Wow.
But right now, I've learned my lesson. I've learned what not to do. But the truth about it is that there's no business without its trials. There's no business without its ups and its downs. So I actually, had that accident, and I learned from it, because my boss at that time is a strong believer that it's okay to make mistakes, but never make the same mistake 2 times. It's okay to make a mistake, but never make that same mistake 2 times. So ever since then, I have incorporated safety as a course that is recommended even for technicians.
Wow.
So I am also a safety professional.
Wow.
I'm OSHA certified.
Great.
So whoever is working with me, I mandate PPEs. You have to wear your gloves, you have to wear your goggles, you have to wear protective shoes, steel toe boots and all that. So yes, there are failures, but like I said earlier, a bad day is not a bad week. A bad week is not a bad month. A bad month is not a bad year.
Now, Yemi, you've been mentioning something that has been consistent, and that is the area of continuous improvement, as in, continuous learning and all that. So what have you done, or how do you think people can actually leverage maybe continuous learning? Yeah.
So like I said, I'm a strong advocate of continuous learning, even while we are in the process. So for me, I was able to obtain a mini MBA.
Wow, great.
Which has been very helpful to my business, because it's an eye-opener to several things I didn't even know about business.
Okay.
So it's like studying business itself, apart from the trade side of it or the technical side of it.
Okay.
Okay. Then also there's the new thing coming up now, which is artificial intelligence.
AI.
The world is moving at a very rapid speed, and thousands of jobs are going to be replaced very soon. I think I overheard, somewhere there's a McDonald's that runs fully automated.
Really?
The machine flips the burger, the machine fries the chips, and from start to finish, everything is automated. So jobs are being replaced. So guess what? Because I'm running a business, I also want to know about AI and how it affects my business, so that I can incorporate it into my business if it's going to be productive for me.
Great.
You can't take continuous learning out of any business enterprise.
Wow. This is so, it's actually mind blowing. As in, when I started the show, I said, I know Yemi personally, and let me just digress a bit. I used to work in a particular place, and Yemi comes into that place, and I was about leaving that place, that establishment, and I'm like, and my manager then was telling me, you could actually get somebody, and like the first person that came to my mind was Yemi, and Yemi was like, sure, okay, yes. I said, Yemi, come over, I'm leaving, but you can come and just replace me, and my manager likes you and everything. And Yemi was like, Yes, I'll think about it. But it now takes me back to a man on a mission knows where he's going.
Exactly.
And at every point in time, there might be a lot of things come like, they might come like, maybe it's the next big thing, but they are basically distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you need to do at every point in time, stay focused. Stay focused. Yemi, it's so wonderful having you
for having me.
on Leap Forward. I love the fact that you actually came on our show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, God bless Performance Garage. God bless.
Leap Forward. Yeah, that's it. So guys, check out Performance Garage Dolls. He's actually heavy on social media, Instagram. We're gonna pull up his Facebook, Instagram handles. In the DMV area is
4.9 reviews.
Is great. It's great. Thank you once more, Yemi.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Wow, what a wonderful experience it has been on Leap Forward. Yemi's social media handles is going to be displayed on the screen. Please like, share. His Performance Garage Dolls is heavy on social media. They are out there. They're doing a great job. Taking up the flag for African-owned businesses, doing very well. And also, Leap Forward's social media handles are going to be displayed also. Please like and share. And as we all say on Leap Forward, keep on being strong, keep on being focused, and see you at the top.